Did your utilities go up? Because mine did. It went up double. Like, it went from 200 and some change to over 500, which is crazy. But everything is getting kind of crazy. And I need to do something about it. Let me show you. This here behind me is 30 panels. 240 watt Trina panels that I picked up online, Facebook Marketplace for $1,950. They're pretty big panels. Come take a look. Oh. This thing is nearly as big as I am. It's a lot of surface space, so that tells me that it's pretty old, but it still produces quite a bit of voltage. It's without load 36, 37 volts, and then under load is like 30 volts. So that means that I can run a few of these in series to put out 100 and some change. But I need some things before I do that. There's a couple ways you can go about the things that you need in order to make this work. Things that are primary are inverters and charge controllers. Now, picking those can be tricky. So, my first mistake. I bought a very cheap modified sine wave inverter, and that doesn't work for what I'm trying to do. Now, these things are good and very inexpensive, but they don't work for all appliances. There's a thing called induction motor that they don't work with. I mean, they can, but they kind of make some weird trippy digital noises. Blenders, dryers, things that use motors to rotate is typically an induction style, unless it has permanent magnets. I'm sure I can get killed in the comments for this. But anyway, you don't want to try and go for induction style appliances when you're using a modified sine wave. You need a pure sine wave to make that function. Later on, as we go through most of this in the tutorials and what I'm doing in my crash coursing, I'll explain the difference between a modified sine wave and a pure sine wave. But what I do know now is I need to get a pure sine wave to make this work. The modified sine wave that I got wouldn't run a vacuum. It tried to, but it couldn't do it because it was just kind of fighting back and forth trying to keep an actual wave in a frequency that was designed for that particular appliance. But I brought you here, and my intention is to let you come along with this crash course. I don't have a lot of money, and I'm going to have to do this on like a bi-weekly basis, maybe on a monthly basis, but I'm going to get everything used. Paying $40,000 or $30,000 for solar is, to me, ridiculous when you can go and get it solar for a fraction of the cost for panels that'll last 10 to 20 years. Batteries can also be cheap if you're trying to completely go off grid, which I want to do, and I'm going to slowly start building a battery bank. The only things that I'm going to need to purchase that are going to be new is going to be an inverter and a charge controller, or potentially a hybrid inverter charge controller in one. I want to run these panels in series around 100 to 150 volts, so I'm going to have to try and find a large charge controller, and then at that point have to figure out what type of battery bank I want to buy or purchase. There's plenty of places online where you can find inexpensive batteries in packages, or you can do stuff like buy them individually. I just purchased some of these, which are used, and these are the lithium iron phosphate batteries. I also got boxes of lithium ion batteries because I like to put together lithium ion cells to run things like overvolting a little electric scooters that'll do like 30 miles an hour with me on it, and I'm like 170, so that's pretty good speed for something that small. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I haven't, just because I don't know, I got too many projects going on. But when my utility bill doubled, and then I went, like, backstory, I found panels like this for around $1,000 to $1,200 maybe 6 months ago. Now they're $2,000 plus, depending on where you're looking. And if inflation keeps going in the direction that it's going and the price of things just continue to go up, so are the solar panels. And I don't want to spend $10,000 for used solar. And I'd really like to just completely get rid of a utility bill altogether. That's almost a car payment right now. In some cases, it is a car payment right now. So I'm going to crash course through this, and I'm going to do it with you. And I'm going to try and do this bi-weekly, so stay tuned. I'll make sure that you like, subscribe, so you know when the next one comes out, so you can see when I screw up again, or when I do something that functions or works. But the first objective is, this is my workshop. That's my lathe, there's my computer, 3D printer, Bitcoin miners, all of my drone stuff, all of my electric stuff, and a window unit. And I'm leaned up against the washer and dryer. I want to get this entire workspace running completely off of solar, and then see how many more panels I need to scale it to the house. So be involved, because I'm going to do this. We're going to do it together.